Hello everyone, this is Marcel, wanting to talk to you about my thoughts on why we get married in America. Heard something interesting a while back. Did you know there are actually 3 rings expected in a marriage? It's true. First there's an engagement ring, then a wedding ring, finally the suffering. Makes me wonder why so many men are trying to get married. Heard about a man put an ad out in Craigslist, says wife wanted. Within a week gets 300 replies. Please take mine. So how is it people have had so many difficulties with this historic tradition? It comes down to why we marry. One comparison is how in some countries a young, early 20s woman marrying a man in his late 50s is far more acceptable than in America. At first glance, one may accuse this of being a move for the man's money. In many cases, that is true. More accurately, Americans have romanticized marriage. We take something that at its origins is more of a business partnership and contorted it into a pact between lovers. The government side of our society has not caught up to this yet, which is why people making frivolous decisions are devastated by the consequences when the state steps in afterwards. Whenever my friends consider getting married, I ask them a series of questions to which their answer is almost entirely yes. Are you happy? Do you love her or him? Is the relationship strong? Do you work well together? Are you financially secure or stable? Are you happy with your living situation? So, essentially your relationship is perfect, right? So why in the hell would you want to change it? I present the conundrum. If the relationship is perfect, you do not need marriage. If the relationship is not perfect and has problems, marriage is not a tool to fix them. If you are marrying because of pressure from others, it is a mistake, as each other is the only reason you should need. It is at this point where you usually get to the root of their decision. They are being influenced, either by their lovers or by family, sometimes religion, even just the inherited belief that marriage is a social norm. Do not get married just because you think you are supposed to. That is really stupid. On the thoughts of difference in culture, having been in other countries where marriage is still treated like a business, it became more obvious why the women there behave the way they do, and why Americans seem to have so many difficulties staying married. Please note, I'm not saying they have better success, just a different perception. Let me clarify a few things to those of you who may be considering getting married. Firstly, it will not keep whoever you are with more faithful. Some people get a thrill from the risk of cheating in the same way they might get a thrill from the risk of shoplifting. Marriage will not turn these kind of people away from that behavioral pattern. It only has as much value as the individual puts in it, and if the person doesn't value the relationship before marriage, they will not value it after. I'm not going to discuss in depth going into marriage for religious reasons. That is something I'm saving for another video. I will say that I'm a skeptic and an atheist. Our own belief is a deep and personal thing, and should not allow others to dictate if we get married. Furthermore, if someone you are with seems truly persistent in getting married at the brink of leaving you if you do not, it may be possible they have other motives behind wanting to marry you. If it were truly just about being with you, dating should be enough. Be sure you know what those motives are before you decide. I have been faced with a number of situations where I actually had a woman tell me if I did not marry her that she was going to leave me. And it was not because she was pregnant. I know that's sometimes what people assume. No, that was not the case. She simply wanted to be married to me. Most of those cases came from money, that once we were married I would be financially responsible for her. And other situations came from her wanting to have kids, and that being married to me would, I guess in her mind, force me to have kids with her. Some of them even thought that it would be like a security lock on the relationship, that it would guarantee me to be with them and stay with them and be faithful. I can say one thing out of all those situations that was pretty universal. None of them really wanted to be married for the sake of being married, because they thought that I was the right one. They wanted to be married for some other purpose. They had a reason behind it. So when I share my thoughts on all this, it's from personal experience. And not just dealing with Americans either. I've dated women from multiple cultures on 4 different continents. So I suppose a person could say that in those situations I might have been the cause of that, and I don't really see that as very likely. I keep an open mind about who I date. And for how I know all of this, well, I asked. To wrap up my thoughts, we really need to ask ourselves why and if we should get married in the first place. Tell me what you think. Am I on the right track here? If you want to hear more on this subject, like and subscribe. Thank you.